Or you can blow the sawdust away while you're cutting. Temu or not Temu? That is the question. That's right, rock stars. In this bag, I've got 150 bucks worth of tools off of Temu, or Temu, or Temu, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, it looks pretty beat up. Oh gosh. To be honest, I don't even remember what I ordered. But we're gonna find out. Some of these boxes look pretty beat up. Alright. So let's just dive right in. I can only imagine what y'all are thinking. Come on, Daniel. Temu? Really? Well, yeah, really. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about, so I decided to get 150 bucks worth of tools sent to me, and we're going to put them to the test and see if they're legit or if they're... Yeah. Oh, wow. This looks like the dowel maker. It feels actually pretty darn sturdy. I mean, that feels good. That feels like it's good quality. And the price tag on these things is sort of unbelievable. But let's get the rest of these open, and we're gonna put every tool in this bag to the test. We got one more to open up. All right, this one is a power tool, and God, the box is beat all to hell and back. Oh wow, this was open. Wow, why is everything open? Oh gosh. There's a little spring just floating around in the box. Ah, I got it. That way you get fresh air when you're cutting. You can just hold it right here, or you can blow the sawdust away while you're cutting. There's only one thing left to do. We're going to put these to the test. Meet me at the table saw. And we're going to start off with the thin rip jig. So I'm going to get it put in my miter slot here. Wow, that's not the easiest thing to do. All right. Now, if you're a woodworker, then you have most likely needed a bunch of thin strips ripped on your table saw. And this thing is supposed to make this more accurate for your thin strips and more efficient. And I don't know why it has these measurements on it. They don't really coincide with where the blade is, so we'll just have to take a square, and I want some 1/4 inch strips. So I'll line up my ball bearing here with my carbide tip and lock this in place just so slightly to where I can still move it. And you want to have this jig behind your blade to where it doesn't cause any kickback. So what you'll do is take your fence and lock it in place up against your ball bearing and make this cut. And we'll take our calipers and let's check how consistent this is. That's perfectly consistent. That's pretty crazy. This rip jig is $31 from Temu. Let's take a look here. This thing has over 35,000 that have been sold, and their rating is 4.9 stars. I'd be happy giving it 4 stars. Temu or not Temu? It's definitely Temu. Next up, we're going to try the carving disc. This thing was 11 bucks. So hopefully it fits my arbor. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't fit my nut for my dewalt, so it's not universal. Womp womp. But it looks like I'll be able to get a little bit of grinding done with it, so we'll give it a shot. We better put on our safety glasses. Well, as far as the carving disc from Temu goes, 11 bucks. That's not bad. Temu has sold over 100,000 of these discs with a rating of 4.8 stars. I'd give it 4 stars. Temu or not Temu? We'll give it Temu. Next up, we're gonna try out the square. They sent this like cover thing, but I honestly don't know where it goes or why it goes. So I don't even know what that's for. The square itself, when it locks in place, there's not much slop to it, but there is a little bit of slop. I must say, I'm just not impressed. It's plastic and it just feels cheaply made. But let's set it to 90 and see if we can get a straight line. So I've got this piece of plywood that I have squared on all 4 sides. Let's see if we can get a square line. And I'm going to be checking it with my old framing square, which is dialed in nearly perfect. Take a look at that. So as you can see, this is not accurate. If it's not reading correct on 0, then what is it going to do when I get to my angles? We'll go to 20 degrees and lock it in. 21 degrees. So yeah, that's about how much I was off with the straight line. I may be going out on a limb saying this, but I think it's safe to say that the Egyptians did not use this to build the pyramids. The square is listed for 8 bucks, and I guess that's just what 8 bucks gets you. This one doesn't have any kind of star rating. Temu or not Temu? Not Temu. We're about to turn my drill press into a mortising monster. A tool that I've been dying to have in my shop is this mortising drill bit. And I'm super excited to try this out. It feels well made, but there's only one way to find out. Let's meet at the drill press. So we're going to try it in this 1.5 inch cypress to begin with. So let's give it a run. Okay, well, come to find out, I need a whole jig for my drill press to make that bit work. So that's on me. That's my bad. I can't rate this tool because I don't have the jig to make it useful. So we'll skip that one for now. Next up, we're going to go ahead and try out this dowel maker. I'm pretty excited about this as I use dowels a lot when it comes to woodworking. I've got a piece cut to 3/8 by 3/8, and I'll just round off one edge and then put the other side of this in my drill. We'll send it through clockwise. That actually worked out very good. That's decent. So the dowel jig is at $22 on Temu. And this thing has 4.8 stars. I have no problem with that. Temu or not Temu? Definitely Temu. Next up from Temu is this flush cut saw. Believe it or not, some flush cut saws aren't very good, but this one feels sturdy and well made. When I use this on an actual project that I'm making, I'll typically tape the opposing teeth on the opposite side so it doesn't scratch my piece, because some of these teeth come offset. A lot of people use business cards or playing cards to get a nice clean cut, but this is just a scrap piece, so we're just going to try this out. This blade actually comes with bigger teeth on one side, so we're going to try the smaller teeth on this opposite side here. Not too bad. So one side has more of a fine cut and the other side is more of a rough cut. $3 for this bad boy? That's not a bad price. Temu or not Temu? Well, with 5 stars, I'd say Temu. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last up we've got the power tool. I'm pretty skeptical of this thing. It only cuts to 3/4 and it's battery powered. I'm just not sure how this is gonna go. So let's head outside and give this thing a shot. Where's the trigger? How do you pull the trigger? Oh, well, that's not in a good spot. So the head comes off of this and it has this unlock little button up here. So you just unlock it and then it goes straight in there pretty easily and it clicks right in. But let me show you where this trigger is. They have this little black tab hidden under the trigger here. I was assuming it was one of these, but unless you lift this and pull the trigger, that's the only way it fires up. I don't know if that would be a pro for safety and a con for irritation, but yeah, you decide. So it came with this rip guide and it has some numbers on it. I'm not sure what those numbers are for, maybe centimeters or something. And it has this lock nut here with an Allen wrench. And yeah, that's really not threading now. Okay, there it goes. That's weird. And we can't forget our blowhorn. So this guy plugs in here. And I guess it just blows the sawdust that way. Let's see how good this thing cuts. That's not too bad. Let's see if it's accurate. 3 3/8. 3 3/8. So it rips pretty good. Let's try a cross cut. I don't know about that guy. That didn't do much of anything besides clog up. So now we're going to try the bevel out. It goes to a 45. Let's give it a shot. Oh wow, so I guess this would be a left-handed bevel. That's convenient. It cuts a bevel. This thing's listed on Temu at 67 bucks. It's sold over 12,000 and it's got a 4.6 star rating, so not too bad. It only cuts up to 3/4, and then that trigger safety are about the only issues I have with this thing. This, just go ahead and get rid of that if you buy this. That does nothing. Temu or not Temu? Definitely Temu. If you're a beginner woodworker and are working on a budget, Temu is definitely a good site to get started with. The prices are crazy low and the products aren't too bad. Temu is definitely more of a bargain tool site, but it's very comparable to Amazon. So you get what you pay for, and the quality on some of the items do outshine the price. But then again, some of the items, the price lines up with the quality. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope this was insightful for y'all. Until we meet again, get in your shop and make some sawdust. Skull.